But tell me what you know about Romans 8:28. He will work all things together for our good, right? So I'm homeless, but I'm still working and I'm still looking for a job. I'm still paying bills because when I left Flint, I was not homeless. I lived in a somewhat of a suburb area, and I had Section 8. And let me just put this disclaimer out here. Just because you have Section 8 don't mean you got to live in the hood. Don't mean you got to live in the projects. Don't mean you got to live in broke down shacks. I don't know exactly where people be living who be having a Section 8 and having to live in these raggedy homes or whatever the case is. But when I had my Section 8 for the few years that I had it, I always trying to make sure my children was in something better than I could afford without the Section 8. So I wasn't moving in the same neighborhoods that I was living in when I could pay for the house myself. I wanted to put my children in something better as a home, a community, a school district, all of that. So now that that's over. So I had Section 8. And when you move in Section 8 from one state to the next, you have to do something called port it. Like you got to portal it over or whatnot. You got to go through a process where the Section 8 where you're locally have to be transferred to the state that you're transferring to. And mind you, this 2021, the beginning of 2021, February. So we still in the pandemic, right? Then we moved down there and there was a snowstorm. Weather they're not even used to. Whether we're used to in Michigan, but in Indiana, they wasn't used to those snowstorms. So I moved down here. Not only do I have the pandemic working against me, people are still working from home. So workers and case managers and things like that, they still at home working. So no work is getting done. Not to mention it's this snowstorm, so they shut everything down. So I am here living in this hotel and still trying to take care of my family. And I'm thinking like, dang, did I just uproot my family from a perfectly good situation to bring them here to put them back in a bad situation? And when I say back in a bad situation, this wasn't our first time being homeless, but this was our first time being homeless for the fact that we were relocating to a different state and trying to take Section 8 and all of this stuff. For me, Section 8 was just a step in my ladder. It wasn't something I wanted to do forever. I knew I had aspirations and goals and dreams that I wanted to achieve, and being on Section 8 was not going to help me do that. I mean, it helped me do that, but being on Section 8 for a longer period of time was not going to do that. It was actually going to hinder me.